welcome to Connolly Outdoors. I'm out in my backyard today with a coffee. And what is all this stuff around me? Well, today I'm going to do a video on what I use to keep myself warm when I'm winter hot tent camping. So these are some of the things that I use in my sleep system specifically to keep warm. So today's video, I'm going to take all this stuff and I'm going to put it all together, and then I'm going to run through everything that I use to stay warm in camping in Northern Ontario, which is next month I'm going, and it'll be -10 to -15. So it's going to be pretty darn cold, maybe even colder. So you got to be prepared. So hopefully this helps everybody out. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take all this stuff apart, set it all up, and then I'm going to individually show you everything that I use to stay warm. Let's get to it. Okay, so I got it all together here, and I'm just going to run down basically what I use and a few of my backups as well. So first of all, cot that I use is the Woods cot, fold up, real easy to put together, real easy to tear down, and it holds my weight. I weigh about 225, so I need a cot that definitely can hold me. So it's important for me to have a good sleep when I am camping, and this cot is good. It helps do the job for sure. The second layer I have here with the silver is also from Woods, and basically it's a fold up pad that sits on top of the cot, and it reflects heat back to your body. That's why this is so important. This is a vital piece of equipment. You might not think it is, because it's really not that thick. It's pretty thin, but it's a vital piece of equipment because this silver here reflects back to your body. Now, I also have this kind in here as well, the sheet kind, and this also is reflective, and you can put this even on top of this if you want. You can use both of them, especially when it gets really cold. The next thing, of course, is the sleeping bag. And this is a Logan -12 degrees Celsius bag. It's down-filled, it's really warm. You need this for extreme camping, extreme winter camping like what I do. You need to be warm. Now, I also have this one here, made by Outbound, and it's a 6 degree Celsius, 43 degree Fahrenheit bag. And it's not as heavy duty, so if you're going camping and it's not as cold, I would use this. But when I'm going cold camping, I use this. And this features a area where you can stick your head right in there and zip this right up, and you are very warm. I also have a Woods pillow, and the pillow attaches to this pad. Now the pillow just blows up real easy. I just blew it up by my mouth because it just takes a few seconds. This pillow here, or sorry, this pad here is made by Ecotech. So it's the Ecotech brand, and it has an R rating of about 3 to 5, depending on the size of the pad that you get. Our rating determines how much warmth you're going to get from it. The higher the number, the more warmth. 7, I believe, is the highest, down to a 1, of course. So this is in the mid-range. I actually have another one here, again, has backup. It's made by Brace Master. This has an R value of 5, so it's warmer. The only thing about this that I find is, as you can see, I like to put the pad inside of the sleeping bag because the pad tends to shift around on here while you're sleeping. If the pad is inside your bag and you move around, and I move a lot actually when I sleep, I turn a lot, and this stays with me. So I can stay with the pad. When I use this, it doesn't fit inside this sleeping bag. It fit because it's a mummy bag. That's the other thing I forgot to mention. This is a mummy bag. It fits inside this bag because, as you can see, it's a square bag. And this is square. So this pad is kind of mummy as well. So it fits nicely in here, and it's great. This one here is square. It's warmer, but I have trouble sometimes getting it inside the mummy bag. So I'll use that in conjunction with this, usually. And lastly, what I sometimes do, if it's really cold, is I use this one Tigress hammock quilt. You can do two things with this hammock quilt. You can put it inside the bag with you, snuggle up as a blanket inside, and then of course zip yourself up really nice and warm. It's also down-filled and it's very comfortable. The other thing you can do is just put it on the outside as an exterior blanket, so that you got your bag like that, and you just put it over like that. Now obviously it's shaped for a hammock, but I like to use it as a blanket when I'm camping. So that is my basic setup. Now that is for the sleeping. Let me just show you what I used for the pumped flex tail, which I really love. It doubles as a light, and it also can hang in your tent just like that. I really enjoy hot tent camping. It's important to get good gear. It really is. Now, some people say, well, you know, I want to go out hot tent camping, but I don't want to spend thousands of dollars. Well, you don't have to. This whole setup, this bag is probably the most expensive thing in this entire setup. Actually, probably the sleeping bag, sorry. The sleeping bag is the most expensive, and then my backpack. And I got everything in here. I want to show you something else in regards to what you should bring with you if you're camping outdoors. A hat. Don't forget to bring a hat. Put that on your head. You lose so much heat when you're outside sleeping and your head's not covered. Now, like I said, you can put your head in the top of this, but I always wear a hat on top of that. The other thing that I do that's really good, let's see if I can find it. Here they are. Excellent. Is I throw 2 of these in my bag when it's extremely cold, and they're hand warmers. So I take these hand warmers, I throw a couple of these inside my sleeping bag. That helps to keep me warm. Now, don't put them so that you're right up against them, because it becomes too much heat. You put them in the bag, but put them in the bag in such a way that you're not actually touching them. It's no big deal if they do touch it, because I always wear thermal underwear or track pants with a shirt on of some kind, like a thermal long sleeve warm shirt. So dress warmly for bed when you're out camping as well. Some guys just wear their clothes. I know Steve Wallace always wears his clothes. He just climbs in there with his clothes on. I've done that too, but I've learned that you sweat too much, and then you open your bag and then it's cold, and then it's like, oh, you got a struggle going on of cold in the air, hot in the bag. So you don't want to get too hot. So thermals, these hand warmers, bundle up. You should be fantastic. Now, external heat or auxiliary heat, I'll bring this, the Mr. Buddy Heater. Check out my other video that I just did a review on this. And the other thing, of course, is we're hot tent camping, so I'm bringing a hot stove. I don't have the stove here with me right now, but I use a hot stove, but I don't run it all night. This technically You can run, as long as you got the proper tanks, and I use the 1 pound propane tanks. I use those, and that usually keeps me pretty warm. Check out my other video about this. I also have a video on my Titimo hot stove. So there's 2 videos there for you to check out. And this is basically what I do to stay warm. So if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. Comment. I love all the comments. I want to thank everybody that's been watching and subscribing to my channel. My last video, camping video in a hot tent with my son, is doing well, and I really want to thank everybody for that. I love camping. I love getting outside, and gear is part of it, and it's really important that you have proper gear when you're winter camping. You do not want to be stuck out in the cold and you're not equipped. Another thing is, like I said, I always bring the hot tent and I always bring the hot stove, but I bring the Buddy heater as a backup, because you never know, something can go wrong with the hot stove and you can't use it. Smokes your tent out or something and you can't use it. So you should always have a backup heat source. Sometimes when it's extremely cold, when it gets ridiculous, -20 to -40, I will use this all night. Always bring a CO2 detector to make sure that you're safe and that you're not, your oxygen's not being depleted. But usually in a hot tent, there's lots of airflow, and the Buddy heater is quite safe. So you can run the Buddy heater all night. So that's my backup when it gets extremely cold and it's just too cold to not have heat through the night. Even though you got your, your warm sleep system, in Canada, sometimes it can get ridiculously cold, down to -40. If anyone's ever been out or in around those kind of colds, it's ridiculously cold. So you will be seeing me out in some cold temperature very soon. I got some hot tent, cold camping coming up. You'll see the sleep system in action. I want to thank also a few people that said that they wanted to see some of the gear reviewed. So this is for you guys that requested the gear reviews. This is the hot tent sleep system that I use, and I want to thank everybody for watching, and as always, keep camping.